Ahoy, everyone. That's right. It's that time of the year. Merry Christmas. Happy birthday. Happy Easter. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy New Year. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Halloween. Happy 4th of July. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Groundhog Day. Happy Kwanzaa. All that. Personally, my birthday is next month, actually. But, as promised, I'm doing Ebenezer Scrooge has schizophrenia theory. Let's go. Scrooge sees and interacts with ghosts, Marley, and the spirits of Christmas. While these are literal devices to drive the story in a clinical context, they might resemble visual and auditory hallucinations, common symptoms of schizophrenia paranoia. Before the ghostly visits, Scrooge displays a mistrustful and suspicious attitude towards others, believing everyone is motivated by greed or self-interest. Paranoia can be a symptom of schizophrenia disorganized thinking. If his erratic behavior post-transformation, like giving away money and sudden emotional outbursts, were viewed from the perspective of those around him, they might interpret it as a drastic shift in thinking, which could align with thought disorders and schizophrenia, emotional flattening, pre-spirits. Scrooge's cold, detached demeanor could resemble negative symptoms of schizophrenia, such as diminished emotional expression or social withdrawal delusions of reference. He might interpret the events and messages from the spirits as uniquely directed at him to change his fate, which could be seen as a type of delusion, social isolation. Scrooge lives in near total isolation, avoiding family and friends. Social withdrawal is both a potential cause and symptom of schizophrenia's sudden personality change. The transformation nearly goes overnight could be interpreted as a result of an intense psychotic episode leading to newfound insight of a major cognitive shift. But enough smart talk. Example: when Scrooge sees Jacob Marley, there is aspects that don't seem real, like the obvious fact of seeing a ghost, and the fact that he flies out the window. But then if we go, the three spirits, the past, the present, and the future. Let's start with the Ghost of Christmas Past. Delusions of significance. Scrooge interprets the ghost's appearance as a profound and personal message meant to alter his life. This could align with delusions of reference, where individuals believe external events or entities have special meaning tailored to them. Next, memory intrusions. The ghost forces Scrooge to revisit deeply personal and painful memories. This could resemble intrusive thoughts or flashbacks that people with schizophrenia sometimes experience, particularly if they have a traumatic past, which of course Ebenezer Scrooge does. Temporal disconnection. The ghost moves Scrooge through different points in time, blending past and present. For someone with schizophrenia, this could metaphorically align with the disruptive sense of time or reality. Symbol of suppressed emotions. The ghost's role in dredging up Scrooge's past may represent repressed emotions or thoughts. People with schizophrenia sometimes struggle with processing emotions or traumatic experiences, which can manifest as hallucinations, or delusions. Fragmented self-perception. The journey through his younger self could symbolize a fragmented sense of identity. Schizophrenia can involve disruptions in self-concept or a distorted sense of reality and personal history. But how does this relate to Scrooge's condition? Stress and isolation as triggers. Scrooge's solitary, stressful life may serve as a trigger for the delusions. In schizophrenia, stress can exacerbate symptoms like hallucinations and delusions. Reflection as a coping mechanism. The ghost might represent Scrooge's subconscious attempt to grapple with unresolved guilt and regret, which could be interpreted as his mind projecting these images to force him to confront his past. Metaphor for insight. In schizophrenia, moments of insight can occur after episodes of hallucinations or delusion. The ghost's visit might symbolize an internal struggle for clarity and change. Conclusion. The Ghost of Christmas Past serves as a literary tool to explore Scrooge's psyche, but her role can also be viewed metaphorically through the lens of schizophrenia. She represents a deeper conflict within Scrooge, a confrontation with his memories, guilt, and suppressed emotions that could parallel the symptoms of a psychotic episode. Now, on to personally my favorite, The Ghost of Christmas Present. Delusions of significance. The ghost appears as a, larger-than-life figure. Pretty big. Directly addressing Scrooge and showing him intimate scenes of other people's lives. Scrooge's belief that these visions are uniquely tailored for him could parallel delusions of significance, a symptom of schizophrenia. Overwhelming sensory input. The ghost's surroundings are rich with sensory detail, a feast, lively gatherings, and vibrant imagery. For someone with schizophrenia, this can metaphorically represent sensory overload, where sights and sounds become overwhelming or hyper-realistic. Empathy as a psychological struggle. The ghost forces Scrooge to witness the lives of the Cratchit family and others, eliciting emotions like guilt, compassion, and regret. For someone with schizophrenia, this could symbolize eternal conflict with emotions that feel distant or difficult to process. Time distortion. The ghost emphasizes the fleeting nature of the present. Schizophrenia often involves the disrupted sense of time, where the distinction between past, present, and future may blur. Projection of neglected reality. The ghost visits could symbolize Scrooge's subconscious recognition of the world around him, a reality he's neglected. This aligns with how some people with schizophrenia might experience hallucinations or delusions as external representations of eternal struggles. But how does the ghost relate to him? Well, current emotional state as a trigger. The Ghost of Christmas Present represents Scrooge's current emotional and mental state. His isolation, guilt, and growing awareness of his own flaws might trigger these visions, mirroring the way stress and emotional turmoil can exacerbate schizophrenia symptoms. Connection to reality through others. The ghost emphasizes Scrooge's detachment from others, showing him how his actions affect those around him. This could reflect the struggle some people with schizophrenia face in maintaining relationships and understanding social dynamics. Confrontation with guilt. Witnessing the Cratchit family and Tiny Tim highlights Scrooge's role for perpetuating others' suffering. For someone with schizophrenia, this might parallel feelings of guilt or responsibility that are magnified or distorted in their mind. Fleeting nature of the vision. The Ghost of Christmas Present exists only for a short time, emphasizing the transit nature of the moment. This could symbolize the temporary clarity or emotional insights that sometimes occur between psychotic episodes. Conclusion. The Ghost of Christmas Present represents Scrooge's awakening to the present moment and the realities he has ignored. From a metaphorical perspective, his experiences with the ghost can resemble how schizophrenia manifests as a heightened, often distorted perception of reality, emotional turmoil, and difficulty processing external stimuli. The interpretation serves as a psychological lens to explore Scrooge's journey rather than a literal diagnosis. And now last, the ghost of Christmas future. Hallucinations of death and doom. Scrooge's vivid visions of his future, including his own death and the reaction of others, could resemble hallucinations. These scenes are intensely personal and emotionally charged, much like the content of hallucinations, experienced by some individuals with schizophrenia. Paranoia and existential fear. The ghost's grim demeanor and the haunted images of Scrooge's death might symbolize intense paranoia, a common symptom of schizophrenia. Scrooge feels like an overwhelming fear that his actions have doomed him to an unchangeable fate. Delusions of catastrophe. The belief that he is witnessing the definitive future can be seen as a delusion of inevitability. People with schizophrenia sometimes experience catastrophic thinking or delusions about their destiny. Disconnection from time and reality. The ghost takes Scrooge to a hypothetical future, which can be interpreted as a metaphor for the temporal disorientation often experienced by individuals with schizophrenia. The boundaries between present and future blur. Sorry, I can't read my script that I have written down that well. Loss of identity. Scrooge's visions of his unmarked grave and the indifference of those around him might symbolize a fear of losing his identity or significance. This reflects the fragmented sense of self that some individuals with schizophrenia report. Symbol of suppressed fears. The ghost's silence forces Scrooge to confront his fears and draw his own conclusions, much like how supposed fears or anxieties can emerge in distorted or overwhelming ways for people with schizophrenia. Now, how does the ghost relate to him? Existential crisis as a psychotic episode. The ghost of Christmas future visit could be viewed as a manifestation of a psychotic episode where Scrooge's subconscious fears are projected as vivid and terrifying visions. Fear of isolation and rejection. The future Scrooge witnessed emphasizes total isolation and a lack of love or respect from others. For someone with schizophrenia, this might parallel feeling of alienation and fear of being misunderstood or abandoned. Confrontation with mortality. The ghost forces Scrooge to face his mortality and the consequences of his choices. The intense confrontation with existential themes is a recurrent element in delusions or intrusive thoughts for some individuals with schizophrenia. Calloused for change. While terrifying, the ghost visits ultimately serve as a turning point for Scrooge. Similarly, some individuals with schizophrenia describe moments of clarity or self-reflection following intense episodes leading to a desire or change or treatment. Conclusion. The ghost of Christmas future symbolizes Scrooge's deepest fears and the grim consequences of his current life path. From a metaphorical perspective, the spirit and the experiences it works could align the symptoms of schizophrenia, such as hallucinations, paranoia, and an altered sense of time. However, these connections are interpretive and serve as a psychological lens to deepen the understandings of Scrooge's journey, not as a direct diagnosis. Now, I have no idea what I fucking just said at all, but I'm not a doctor. But now, enough, and actually go to a theory that I actually made and didn't ask an AI to make. So, in A Christmas Carol, we know though that at the end, we do see Scrooge find his grave. And then he wakes up. And then Tiny Tim can walk after being born with a rare disease where he isn't able to walk. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible for that to happen, but what if we know though that if the ghost of the Christmas future was supposed to be the future, it's supposed to be what would happen in the future. What if, since the ghost of Christmas future didn't say what time period he was supposed to be. What if he was also the present? Now bear with me. What if there were two ghosts of Christmas present? And when Scrooge was seeing his grave, going with the ghost of Christmas past, present, and presumably future, was actually what he was experiencing as he died. And the last thing he finds out is that it's supposedly Christmas morning, and Tiny Tim supposedly can walk, and everything is supposedly happy ever after in one night. But it wouldn't make sense for one night, since he experienced an entire day, and a night, and another day, which would have been 2 days. Well, I guess we know the sad story of Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge. An uncle, a boss, a second father. All gone. I like to hope that if this is supposedly he has died, that he had a good final hour. Rest in peace, Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge. Gone, but not forgotten. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was the Ebenezer Scrooge has schizophrenia theory. I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching.